What's up, guys? We are
Hola.
Takeover the World, and we are back.
I'm Andre.
I'm Blake.
And this
is episode 12, I believe. So welcome. Didn't know we'd get this far.
Welcome to Hola. Yo soy Andres and Blake. Welcome to episode 12.
So I was like, I don't know if that's the right name.
12?
Yeah.
Yeah. 11, 12, 13, 14.
That's not, I thought you were saying 10, 20, 30, 40.
No.
No?
Now you have me confused.
No, guys, we're really just going to sit here and talk about Remy the Rat. So if you're Stuart Little and Snowball, continue on with your day. We're not talking to you. We're talking to the real fans. The real rat. The real king of the streets.
Yeah, I bet y'all all call him Ratatouille. His name's not Ratatouille, it's Remy.
And what's his brother's name?
I mean, it's his friend, but it's Emilio.
His brother, dude. Brother from the streets, dude. Blood can't bring you any closer than that. Have you seen the movie?
Blood In, Blood Out? Or Ratatouille?
Is that the squeakquel?
You know what's funny? Those movies suck.
No one's disputing you there, bud. No one. No, but I was like, we also want to do a little salute because Internet Explorer, as of November 2020, is going to be no longer.
Boo.
So that's the end of an era for us kids that grew up on it. And Netscape and Mozilla Firefox is the end of Internet Explorer as we know it.
So go ahead and take out your floppy disks, snap your AOL disks in your disk drive so you can get internet for 48 hours.
So, alright, guys, we're going to do a little salute. So, if you're in your cars, at your work, at home, wherever you're at, go ahead and close your eyes and bow your head while we do the salute.
What a sad day in history.
So, yes, you know when that song comes on, a legend has fallen. So, all the birds are a little sad outside.
Yeah, this is the second time we had to play it this year. Because the first time was for Kobe, who died at the end of January. We get it. Sorry.
No, we really appreciate now that we have fans enough to criticize us, so it's good. And I guess it is criticizing, but it is constructive nonetheless. So I'm going to try to not talk as loud and not get as hyper as I am when I get excited. So it's all growth here, babies. It's all growth.
Wowzers.
Yeah. So I was thinking we all have to learn why we're in this rough time to adapt and everything like that. So that leads us to our next point of...
A few moments later.
But oops, I kind of messed all that up. I just opened the wrong program. So now everything is going to sound choppy in the beginning, but it should be great from now. That was my big mistake.
Well, if you end up hearing this, we're going to dive into some... to the inner workings of y'all's brain as well as ours to give y'all some stuff to think about because I've been deep thinking lately because I've just been deep thinking. I have no real idea. I've just been contemplating life and what age I'm at and where we are, and then I was thinking about like, dang, what if I was like at school during all this COVID stuff and everything like that. So one thing led to another in my ADD brain to where I was just like, man, dude, like... Which is this where I thought I was going to be 10 years from now?
Yeah, which is true because
10 years ago.
I feel really bad for both of my brothers because they're in, one of them's in 7th grade and one of them's 6th grade now. It's like this is kind of the years that it like really changes how you are and how you're going to be for like the next 10,000 years of you being alive.
You think it's going to affect like their career choices? Or like what they want to do even like high school? Because like some of these kids not being able to play sports as much as they thought they did?
Yes and then no, because I guess for sports that's a different story because I feel like they are losing a big opportunity. But I mean, there are still schools. I think even our schools are doing like 2-a-days kind of type deals. But then it's like you hear every day someone's still getting freaking COVID there.
Yeah, so that's rough. But it made me think about like really what you're gonna do after high school because I was like kids are learning off from the computer. We saw that like now like in the NBA. In the WB, they're doing virtual like
where you
fans.
crowds and
but I was like, one of these people are probably going to keep that. or really consider that for special situations to the point where that might be the new normal.
Yeah.
So I was just like, man, dude, like we're now in the future, like we used to think, you know what I mean, how the future was.
Some real protozoa type nonsense.
Yeah, like that. And then you said you like, was it?
Meg
not
the
the name.
Stallion?
Yeah, Meg the Stallion is doing a virtual concert, and the tickets are only
only $12.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like $12-15. And I was just like, well, now I think they're cheap because you can't really sell out. I mean, I guess maybe they have a limit. I don't know. Or they probably have a limit of what they can handle with security wise, probably. But
Well, yeah, but even at that too, when you think about it, it's because the tickets are going to be so cheap now because they don't have to pay the venues, they don't have to pay the people that are working.
Is she just doing it at her house, or is she doing like an acoustic studio or something?
I'm sure they're doing like a stage somewhere, but it's like, oh, you have to hire a stagehand, and that's it. You don't have to hire you don't have to buy the whole venue, and then have to pay that venue back.
I feel like that changes everything, man. Because I was like, some of these even celebrities probably like that. There's probably some that really like that.
Well, yeah,
It's probably a lot less maintenance, like you said, a lot less pay, more money in your pocket.
Mm-hmm.
So even without the money, it's probably less hassle of having to deal with like as much people like VIP. I'm sure if you're a celebrity, you'd much rather do a Skype call.
Yeah,
know what I mean? After you're just exhausted and.
Yeah, because like I listen to like a lot of podcasts, and I was listening to even like Bert Kreischer and shit was talking about how it's nicer doing like his pitch meetings and stuff in his own house, and you can you're
he's more comfortable.
Yeah, you're more loosey goosey there, and it's like, yeah, that's true. And then even when you put like, if y'all want to steal it, go ahead and steal it. But it's like if you're a musician, think or even a comedian or anything, you know how easy that would be to do meet and greets virtually, because then you could just set up a big Zoom. And you put one person, you just keep everybody in the waiting room and just enter one in the lobby.
And as I said, it's more individualism too, so it sounds a little bit more
it's
like
personal.
Yeah,
and it's nice and it's
genuine.
Yeah,
and a lot more to remember. I guess I don't know. I guess you can take a still photo from it. I'm sure they probably have regulations for that too. So
well, maybe, but I mean, you could still like record it. You know what I mean?
See, that's just crazy that they're gonna have to think about like guidelines of what's cool, what's not. Is somebody going to mess this up? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that. I mean, not to worry about all that, but I was like, I do worry about that because I was like, man, like I could finally see some like live sports just from my home, which is really cool. That's like not on the TV. Because I'm wondering how that's perceived, because technically I have not done it. So like I don't know how it is if you're into the NBA game. If you have like an inside scoop or like an access to a camera of like an overview or something, I don't know how it is.
Hopefully I do remember to put it in the description down below, but there's
you got like a POV of it?
There's a Childish Gambino concert that was filmed for Awaken My Love that was on VR, and it's very interesting because you're in the front, but like,
was that before this or after this?
It was way before this. This was like 2-3 years ago.
Oh dang.
And yeah, like it's a VR experience. So like you're in the crowd, you can look around, you see people, but like.
Is it like avatars?
What do you mean?
Like the people you see, is it like VR chat?
No, they're real people. There were real people that were at the concert. So like how it was is it was a real concert.
So it was a concert that already happened and then you're seeing it?
Yes.
Oh, okay. So that's where I was like confused. So yeah, okay. That makes more sense.
And it's just a 360 camera that's right in front. So you see everybody live with you, which you could still do.
That's pretty cool though.
Because you could just do it with like 20 people.
So it's almost like some people are prepared for this.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
But it's a sick idea. People really should do it like that. Because, yeah, with the VIP thing, you could just sell... I think you can only handle, like, 500 people on Zoom. Or 250. So it's like, you just pay an extra, what, $15? Pay $30 total? That's a deal.
True. Do you think they'll just send them a box of stuff, though? Because don't you get stuff with VIP? I mean, of course you hang out with your favorite artists and stuff.
Yeah, but I think if you do it like this, digitally, it should just be like a
shirt or something?
Yeah, like a shirt, or like you get like 30% off in their store or something. You know what I mean? Something that's like they'll get profit from, and it's not like giving you a bunch of free stuff, because you are paying bare minimum. It's nothing
that's
like
true.
Woo, but
yeah, it's just crazy to think about. So like 10 years ago, did you think about any of this in your future, of like virtually seeing a concert or like a WWE show or like NBA?
No, not at all. And it's funny because I really like Back to the Future, and like when you watch that stuff, it's like it's crazy that they thought that was going to be like what 2015 was going to be, and we were like nowhere close. But COVID really launched us another like 10 years into the future. Like the only thing that's like pretty accurate about Back to the Future is just that like we overdo movies. Because if you remember when he goes back, there's a part where the shark bites him and it's for like Jaws 19.
Yeah.
And it's like that's the only thing they got right, that we just overdo movies to death.
Wasn't Back to the Future one of the Cubs?
Oh yeah, that was the other thing that they got, and it was right the same year. It was 2015 that the Cubs made, but they lost.
And going back to the criticism thing that was at the beginning of the episode, we unintentionally just talk about movies. Did you realize that?
Yeah, I know.
Like people catch on and I kind of blow it off, but I was like, we nonchalantly brought up a movie. I don't know how that happens. Maybe I don't know. I was like, that's just crazy.
It's just because we both watch movies, a lot of movies.
Yeah, I grew up watching a ton of movies too. But I was like, I don't know. I was like, I see some stuff flourishing though in that, like the careers of that. Do you think it's affecting movies at all?
Filming, yes. Like Mulan and stuff. Like, I know I keep saying like 1,000 times, but
no, you said that Mulan was gonna go straight to Disney Plus, right? I'm sure everyone knows that.
I thought it was going to go... No, it's not even going straight to Disney Plus. It's going to Disney Plus, but you have to pay an extra $25 or so to even watch it.
Do you own it, or is it like rented?
You own it as long as as long as it's on
Disney It goes hand in hand with your subscription then?
Yeah, so as long as it stays on Disney Plus, like if they get rid of it, then you can't see it anymore.
So you're paying the monthly plus the $25, and you don't own it?
It's pretty much like Netflix. You know how like Netflix like rolls movies out, like they get rid of them after like a.
Is that what Disney Plus is gonna do?
That's what they're saying. They're saying it once if it ever rolls off of Disney Plus, then you just kind of lose that movie.
Well, I thought the whole point of Disney Plus is gonna be like a locker, so it wouldn't go anywhere.
Yeah, but they keep losing stuff, and like they're barely gaining.
Are they losing stuff, or are they making money off of it?
Probably both, but they are losing stuff because
Disney's some hustlers.
Because people were like backlogging like old Disney stuff, and it was like, niggas are here, and it's like, ooh, yikes.
All right, my turn. Let's see who does it better. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. See, we can make jokes about it, guys.
But I guess you could say that about any Disney movie that is kind of weird, and like Pinocchio, it's kind of just about a
guy I forgot what movie I watched.
A little boy.
I forgot what movie I watched that I had never seen. It was like Pete the Dragon.
Oh yeah,
that's super oddly racist in like 2 scenes.
Really?
Yeah, and it has to do with like an imaginary dragon, like, and I was like, ooh, what the hell? And it's hella sexist too.
Oh, I hate.
But like, I had never seen the movie before.
Wait, is it the remake or the original?
No, it was the like 1970s or 60s version, or whenever it came out. Like, don't quote me on that, please. But I was like, you could tell the only money went into that dragon.
Yeah.
And it was the people that had kept the kid that ran away was super racist.
Yikeroony.
They were exactly the people that have the full album. The what is it? The band that sings Cotton Eye Joe, is it Rednecks?
Yeah, with an X.
They have the full album. That's the best way to put it. No, but getting off tangent with the movies and stuff, talking about the way things change, where you thought of like 10 years ago. Has your dreams changed from 10 years ago?
10 years ago being 2010, yeah, because in high school I was really thinking that I was going to not develop games, but I thought I was going to be somewhere in that space, whether it's
like creating your own game.
Yeah, like being like, well, the plan was originally to move to San Francisco and to just do.
Didn't you apply for like a school or something like that?
Yeah, I got in. I just didn't go. But.
Well, what was your idea? Did you have an idea for a game or something?
No.
Because I think, did you have to give them something to get accepted? Because I feel like that's a big deal.
No, it was just a regular. It was the Art Institute. They kind of just take anybody who applies.
Well, I don't believe that.
I mean, for the most part, when they need, it doesn't help that. Like, I mean, it does help me, but because I'm multiracial, it counts because they want the numbers, which is kind of sad. But it's like, hey,
it benefits you, I guess.
Yeah. Because at least I get a good career. You know what I mean? I get a good shot of having a college education.
I understand once they open one in Scotland, I'll probably get that benefit.
Which, you know, it's a super big bummer before I keep talking. If I had went to that school, all my student loans would be gone. Because the Art Institute got, like, sued for something. So they had to...
Like, waive a bunch of stuff?
They had to waive everybody's... From what I remember reading, they waived everybody's student loans that went to... They were saying that their degrees didn't mean anything.
All right, let's deep dive. Let's say you said yes. How do you think San Francisco would have fit you?
What it would have been.
'Cause that's a big step.
What would have been sick is I would have been in San Francisco in the Rise of Vine. So I would have been in the California area of the Rise of Vine. I could have seen a lot of stuff.
You could have been on the reboot of Fuller House.
I could have been.
Or the remake of Fuller House.
I could have hang out with Jerry Perpin.
'Cause I feel like that's where we differ. That you actually like that show.
I do like that show. I watch it sometimes.
Well, I mean, I don't hate it. I just didn't dive in fully. I'm a fan of Bob Saget. I don't know. I didn't dive into that show that much.
Yeah, sometimes like I'm real sad and
I was more of a Family Matters guy.
And like my girlfriend's not home. I'll just lay on the couch and I'll just watch like 3 episodes of Family Matters. Fuller House. And anyway, let me go back. So
I was the one watching Family Matters. That's a true family. Cop taking care of his family.
I went from thinking
full family values.
I was going to either be in just like the video game space in general of like either trying to help develop.
Was that like a certain wing of the Art Institute and you choose one wing,
Mm-hmm.
or is it like very vague and it's just an umbrella and you just kind of unfold?
No, you get to pick your. It's pretty much like graphic design, video game design, and like it's a lot of like art, pretty much art.
And do like when you understood the accepting of that offer, do they hit the ground running with it? Or do you have to know like a general aspect, or you just have to go in there with the dream of wanting to do it? Because that's what always intimidated me from even applying.
It was just a dream of wanting to do it. Like they
would teach you from the ground up then.
Yeah.
Because for whatever reason, no one ever told me that growing up. But I was always nervous to apply because I always thought you had to go in there expecting something. Because I didn't get the opportunity. Because in our day and age in our school, like having so many kids, the tech class was the first one filled. So I never got an opportunity besides simple keyboarding. I never got the opportunity to mess around with it because I only had a mutual computer for me and my siblings.
Yeah.
I mean, I got to learn quite a few, play games, learn stuff and all that, but I was like, I never got the opportunity to actually sit there and dive in. So that's why I was always playing console. You know what I mean? Because I guess it was my way of doing that. But I was always afraid to apply for college for that because I thought you had to know something to get in.
You have to know. You do have. It's just pretty much having the dream. I mean, knowing stuff is helpful. That's just like if you were gonna go into to play professional football. Like you know stuff about football, but you don't know exactly what you have to do. You know what I mean?
That could make sense.
Like once you get onto the field, it's a whole different ball game from just learning stuff from the outside.
And that's why they don't take you straight out of high school into the NFL. You learn. I got you.
Yeah. So
I guess I didn't just put 2 and 2 together with that because I was like, I guess that's where I always separated sports with like art and entertainment. It's because I was always been fond of each of them, but I guess I saw them separately.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, I guess it's not really that way. I guess they did it in American Pie. You could be in choir and in football or in lacrosse. I guess I don't know. Maybe I just never thought of it in my own life. So.
But let me see. So 2010, I was thinking that I was
Andre's in San Francisco. You just graduated. You're 18, 17. You're in San Francisco. You're slightly cold because of the ocean breeze. Go.
No. So anyway, that was my junior year, and I really, really thought that I was going to just go to school for game design, and then. What's funny is
So you said your junior year in high school is when you accepted that, or
no,
you had that plan?
I had that idea, and then I keep losing track. My bad. Oh, okay.
Now you feel like me every day.
So then it's junior year, and I was like, okay, like this is what I'm gonna do. Blah blah blah. Well, I started getting into $6 tees, and I was buying like
not a sponsor. Wish it was a sponsor.
I was buying like $80 worth of shirts. And
yeah, I remember the first time I told you about that. You told me about that brand. You had a nice jug shirt.
Oh,
with two milk
jugs on the chest. Yeah, and I was wearing those.
And
shirts
you had the
school.
thank you plastic bag one, which is really cool.
I was wearing those to school, and what's funny was that I got stuck in the wrong class. I got a senior class my junior year, so I was real quiet because I didn't know anybody because they were all upperclassmen, and the teacher made she was like, you could tell that she meant like the word happy when she said it. When she was like, where do you get all those gay shirts, right? And I'm like, okay. She's like, do you make them or like what? I was like, cause those literally like you make them at home. And then that's where it really came from. I was like, damn, I could make these at home. Like these are so easy.
You know what's funny?
And I was like, that's when I started pivoting to just do that.
You know, what's crazy is we went on 2 different paths, but led to the same destination. Because when I was younger, I ended up leading somehow, and that could be another story, but into paintball. And I wanted to make my own team and everything like that, and I had a bunch of white shirts where I got sponges, because I did not know how to tie-dye, I didn't know how to do anything, and I sponged and cut like letters of a name, of the team name, team number. Yeah. I wrote my name out, and I made, for anybody that would join in, because my dad worked at a sporting goods store, academy for the people in Texas, or just a regular big sporting goods store for the people that aren't. He'd give me discounts on like big old jugs of paintballs. So that was my sell, because I made enough money to get 1 paintball gun and 1 CO2 tank, and he got a big discount of like unnamed balls. I think they were just like loose out of the pack, but it was just a big old pail of just, kind of like those Home Depot buckets. Yeah. Just full. And he would give me 2 of them each time. And that was what I was saying. I was like, hey, I got balls and CO2 tanks, because he gave me a bunch of CO2 tanks. And I was like, I'll give you this if you want to try it for a team. And I made all those shirts, but mine came out kind of crappy, because it was my first one. But I was all excited, and I made everyone else legit. And I put nicknames in the back of like whatever nickname. And at the time, some of them were gamer tags, and then a number. And some people had like the letter X. It was kind of like the longest yard. Well, and I was like, what's funny is that I was like, man, like I really want to know how to get better at this. And now that we're older, we both run and own a t-shirt company.
Which is really funny. Also, who'd you give the crop top to if it's the longest yard, Benny or what?
No. I played paintball with Benny, our friend Benny, but I was like, I didn't. No, some of them were, like you said, upperclassmen. Because not too many kids at our age were too fond of paintball. A lot of people didn't know what it was. Yeah. And for some reason in our class, airsoft was a big thing. So it was like divided. You know what I mean? And I was just never a big fan of airsoft. But I think that's great. No, but I was like, I don't want to take away from your story, but I was like, I just think that's crazy that I had the kind of a different idea, but we had the same goal without either one of us knowing it. Yeah. You know what I mean? Someone pointed it out to you, and then me, I just, for whatever reason, wanted to be a part of a team and just make something. And I think I chose like an inverted logo of like some skate shoes. I think I had like Osiris's or DVS's or something. And that was our logo, and people thought it was cool. And I just said like, oh, yeah.
Oh, some real bad boy designs.
Well, no, because I used I used the shoebox, and I cut out the deal yeah. to like, and I painted it that way, and then I kind of wiped off paint real quick, like where the circle should be, and it kind of worked out kind of cool. I don't remember what our team name, but it was dark purple, like Grimace purple, and just white shirts. So
also, Osiris, don't copyright us now. Those shirts exist somewhere.
They were like inverted and backwards, and it had nothing to do with y'all. Y'all are part of the inspiration.
We're still gonna get a cease and desist. Or you will, I won't.
If those jerseys are somewhere, please keep them. they're not hanging in the rafters. They're not retired like some jerseys. So I was like, if y'all want to come confiscate them, I encourage you to do so.
Yes, please do.
And if you find them, congratulations, because I don't know where they are. Good luck. My mom still has my first haircut. Is it?
Ew, yuck. In a book or what? In a binder?
I have no idea. She just told me that. And it creeped me out enough to where it was like, it's fucking weird.
That's like my mom. My mom has all my teeth in a fucking, in like a, like in a pill bottle. Oh, my voice cracked. Yeah, like in a pill bottle.
Thank God this isn't the Xbox Live lobby.
Wait, speaking of like 10 years and stuff, have you seen that TikTok? I know that's like super random, but it's like someone running. It's like someone is the president or running for president, and they're like, "Hey, did you?" It's like, "Did you hear about the leak?" And it's like, "I don't care. I don't have enough time for that." And it's like, it's the Xbox leaks all the party chats from 2007, and he like freaks out and like runs out of the house. Anyway, that was a bad.
No, y'all could have mine.
Yeah,
I'm proud of my Xbox. I'm not proud of much, but I'm proud of that. No, but I was like, going back to San Francisco, do you think you'd be in a different place currently?
Yeah, I probably wouldn't have come back. I would have.
How do you feel? How do you feel about that, knowing that you wouldn't come back? Do you think now that you didn't make that leap, that you're strong enough to make that leap now that you're older?
I do. I just would like to get more things situated now that I'm older. But yeah, at the time, I was too afraid to fly, so I knew if I drove there, I would have never come back. I probably would have never flown.
Is it like a comfort thing, or you think it would have hit the spot kind of thing?
I think it would have. I feel like I would have really liked the air. I mean, I do. Like
I heard San Francisco is a good place.
Not a beach town, but I do like that vibe. And I mean, it's just. I mean, you know what I mean? It's like it's like a bougie here. It's a bougie Corpus.
Well, I mean, that's also too. You got to see they have quite a few sports teams and a conglomerate there too. So that means they're accommodating to a big population.
Yeah,
you know.
And I honestly don't think I would. I would have found a career. I think I would have found.
You would have jumped on the Warriors wave.
What's the other team?
The Warriors, Golden State Warriors.
Oh, I meant other California teams, but
I mean they have Sacramento. They have 2 LA teams.
Sacramento. Oh yeah,
Sacramento Kings.
Yeah.
And then I was like, and then they have a bunch of baseball teams. You know, they have the San Diego Padres. They have the Oakland A's. They have that's what I'm saying. They have a bunch of teams. Then you have the 49ers. You know, and then at the time you had the San Diego Chargers, but now they're all in LA. And now you got the Rams. Lost the Oakland Raiders, but you gained the Rams and the Chargers.
Boo.
So I mean, I was like, what the point of that is like you're accommodating to a big population.
Yeah.
Because you're not going to have a professional team without, some kind of following. And you're right there to Vegas. You're right there to Washington and Oregon.
But family-wise, I'm kind of glad I did not leave because it would have been so hard for me to come back. But I know, I'm sure the same things would have happened that happen now for my family, and I'm just glad I'm closer than farther away.
But do you think a few years away things would have changed all that dynamic? 'Cause, I mean, you don't think you would have overcame your thing of flying if you weren't here to go to Disney World last year?
I think I would have only overcame it if something big happened. Like if it was like blah 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 dying. Now. Yeah, I would have came back.
So it wouldn't have been for like a reunion or anything like that?
No, I don't think so. I would have maybe drove every few years, but I don't think I would have ever come back to live. Even I think I would have gotten too comfortable with like even the weather. Like the weather's too hot here, man. But I think if I got another taste of like cooler weather, I would be like, nah, why am I gonna go back?
Would you be doing something like this if you were still in San Francisco?
I think so.
Like you think you would have did the shirt thing, or you would have did a podcast, or because you probably would have been vlogging like you are now.
I think I would have just been bigger in the YouTube space, and
because you would have really took a stab at that.
Yeah, I mean, what do I have to lose? It would have just been me by myself. I don't know anybody that lives anywhere but here, or at least Texas in general.
So you would have went to one of those like Vine meetups or something?
Probably, to be honest with you. I'd be hanging out with Jake Paul, probably getting arrested right now. Because we'd be best friends.
That's good. You would have joined Team 10.
Hell yeah. Sorry, my bracelet broke. If I sound in and out, I'm trying to fix that. But, yeah,
do you still have that goal to test or make or create your own video games?
No, the only thing I have close that would be in the video game space would to do what is the word? Motion capture. I would love to do a motion capture for a game. Like I would like
Skate?
Yeah, like Skate, or even if it was like a Watch Dogs, like where it's like if you just pick someone that's just like a regular Joe. Like I mean, I have like the body type and like to just be a regular person to like that has to like become the hero. Like that would be sick because I feel like in games it's like people are too like it's always it's like movies. It's always a buff like handsome guy. Like why wouldn't you just want like an average Joe? Like you're telling me like
zero to hero.
You're telling me in Uncharted like this dude can just like he's like a 15 vertical leap. No, he's gonna be like and like trip and fall. Like that's funny. Like that's real. And it could just be one of those where it's like you don't know when it's going to happen, blah, blah, blah. But, yeah, that would be the only thing I'd want to do.
Let's ask the real question here. What was the game that led you to that goal? There's got to be one game that stood out.
To what? be in
to
game
like,
design?
or yeah, just to make that leap to San Francisco. You didn't have a game or like a genre that stuck with you to make that leap?
I did like open world game, like Grand Theft Auto. Like San Andreas was a big reason I wanted to get into it because it was black narrative, but like it was just interesting to see that you could tell other stories that way that weren't animals, or it was actually like people getting like you're getting a different taste. Like it's not always like your regular run of the mill white guy doing stuff. It was like a big change for that. But I mean, even like
I'll just tell you right now, like a full white guy in GTA thing wouldn't work. That's why they had to do something like that with GTA 5, I feel.
Yeah.
Because I was like, although it is huge and has a high ceiling, I think it also has a big fall. So I was like, the front man they chose for the white guy in 5 was great, and they complemented well with the others.
Yeah.
You know, with Franklin and Michael. So I was like, I feel that. That's what I was like, San Andreas is a big part of our generation too. So that's cool. I was like, I would have never thought it was GTA. I would have thought it would have been a more like single player.
I mean, yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Like, I do really like game styles like Crash Bandicoot and like Sly Cooper and Ratchet and Clank. Those are really good, just stories that I really like storytelling. Like that was the main reason I wanted to do a lot of that stuff, because I like a very well told story. Like I know I haven't started it yet because it didn't come out yet, but I will still be playing Mafia at some point on my Switch because I was so hyped and I was about to go buy it when I got paid, and then I looked and it was like, it's not coming out till September 14th. I was like, oh, damn.
No, I had that idea for a little while. Like I didn't want to do full blown video games, but there was a video game and like that was talked about in our generation that I saw it kind of unfold like right in front of me, and it was like an innovation in its own, and that intrigued me to want to do, like, if I got into video games, I wanted to be a part of one console to another, and it was a game called Shadowrun. It wasn't very huge, but it was huge in our like nerdy little Outcast world because it was a gaming deal. It was called Shadowrun, and it was with I believe Xbox and Windows Vista at the time, and for whatever reason I didn't care about the story. I instantly said, how do I get this game? Like something in me was just like, I want to be a part of it, and it was very strange. I remember it very blurry now, but if I get involved, I want to be in something like that, to what would have led into like Overwatch that I got into super late, or like even Apex, to where it's like a full open world, like not full open world game, but I was like, it's a huge game.
Yeah. But
there's individual storylines or individual characters, because that always excited me. Because I was like, my main goal is to make short films, and I want every little character to have some kind of fitting, like some kind of nickname, or even like, this guy always wears a bandana, like, you know what I mean? Like little things like that. So something like that intrigued me to want to do that, and so that's why I'm glad, like, sport, like I would have loved to be on part of something like that, like the world we are now, where they open the whole battle royale aspect. That'd be super cool to be like, what can you come up with? What can we come up with? Let's say we both went on different paths. I think that would have been super cool to see you a part of a team and me a part of a team, and have two games go up against each other. Like, that's why I feel like, even though I'm not the biggest fan of Fortnite, that's probably what's happening, is they probably have some buddies that are on opposite sides. Yeah. And that's what keeping these
games, like
these games becoming titans, like, and giants. And I was like, it's super cool, because I was like, it even made its own thing called microtransactions. There's so much stuff happening with the stuff. We're seeing celebrities play video games, which I would have never thought, because there's always that random celebrity that used to play on like Xbox 360, and he would say, add me, and he never adds you, kind of thing. And I was like, now you're actually playing with people. They're doing tournaments, they're doing celebrity things, so that's super cool. And then, like we talked in a past episode about esports, so that's super cool.
Well, to combine those two too, I mean, which I'm surprised more celebrities haven't done, but Drake has put a lot of money into esports teams, and I feel like that's not really ever talked about a lot. Like,
he's an owner of them, like a sports team, or is he like sponsoring
partial owners of some teams? Like, I think he
funds their trips or makes their merch, or
the whole
how does that work?
Like, it would be just like owning a piece of a football team or a basketball team. Like, he funds it to where they're like, but it's different because that's not like a.
Like, he makes sure they have like gear and like 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 they have the right computers.
He pretty much just puts money in the team's bank account to where they can afford to get things that they need.
That's cool. See, I would have never knew that.
But what was I gonna, oh, speaking of just open worlds to all super random. Have you heard of that stuff about Call of Duty? Speaking of like storytelling.
What, like the Cold War or whatever?
Yeah, but did you hear how it's gonna change Warzone and why they think it's gonna change Warzone?
Because it's supposed to be there's like a locked nuke in there.
Yeah.
And it's gonna change part of the world.
Yeah.
Or the map.
That there's a nuke in the bottom of one of the areas, and it's gonna blow up just like in where it did in Russia in the Cold War. That it died, and I was like, man, that's so interesting that they would announce it now because it's gonna be like the anniversary of it.
And do you think some greaseballs are gonna say that I copied another game?
Yeah, and I'm real scared for Cold War to come out because this world cannot handle a game about Black Ops. Has always been a conspiracy game, and right now that's not what this world needs. Because people are gonna be like, yeah, this is so true.
Is it gonna be story, or is it gonna be just Warzone, or is it gonna be both? Yeah.
No, it's gonna be.
I feel like Call of Duty barely came out. Has it been out that long already?
The Warzone?
Yeah. Well, just a period. I guess both.
Yeah.
Dang, man, I feel like those games come out quick, and people are.
It's because it's 3 different teams.
I guess real quick, we'll get off a side tangent real quick. Do these Call of Duty still have play value? How far are they going back, or are they just going one back each time?
So the way that they work is that it's 3 different teams. That's why you see so many Call of Duties come out so quickly. So it's Treyarch, Activision, and I can never remember the other one. So they go in a 2-year span. So 2 years. It takes them 6 years to make.
So Black Ops was one team,
so
and the Modern Warfare is one team.
Yeah.
And then I guess all the other ones, World War II and
is another team.
Okay.
So now they cut one of the teams. They put them together. So I think it's the teams that are doing Warzone and Black Ops. That's why you saw two of the same games back to back because it was Warzone and I forget what the other one's called, like Blackout. Yeah. That's why they were so close together because it was the same team and they already had the stuff, and now it's jumping over and over each other because the story wise they put all their money into doing Advanced Warfare, which had what is the Irish fighter, Conor McGregor and Jon Snow. I can't remember his real name. And
Kit Harington.
Yeah, they were main characters of that game, and I feel like they spent so much money and it went nowhere. Like I bought the game and I played the first mission and I gave up because I was like, it's kind of boring.
But I was like, when we dove in, then let's get back to the original. You know, because these are all stuff I wanted to know from you because I feel like I've known you for a long time, and some of that I've never heard.
Yeah.
From you, but I was like, let's talk about like when you think of your past self. Do you have a certain age that you think about?
Mm-hmm.
What age is that?
13.
13?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna ask you something about 13-year-old Andre, or to think about 13-year-old Andre. Do you think if 13-year-old Andre saw this now Andre, would you be happy, sad, content?
That's a good one. Sorry if my water was loud. I got really thirsty.
No, I've been trying to drink away from it because I feel like y'all can always hear me breathing heavy and sneezing and all kinds of stuff.
I would like to say yes, but I was kind of all over the place at that time. So I wouldn't know exactly how I would feel at that time. I mean, I like my life. Like, I live a pretty chill life, but...
I mean, you're a constant creator, you know, so it's not video games, but you're still creating.
Yeah.
You know, you have your own T-shirts, you have your own podcast now. You're vlogging, you're Twitch streaming.
I try my best.
You brought a dog out of the streets.
I do like to try a bunch of different things and just see what I can do and learn stuff because you never know. My big thing is you never know when someone might need somebody to do something, and I'd like to be that person. But I don't mind trying it myself and failing and figuring out what's wrong and what needs to be done and what you can switch up. And I just I really think that's what I do enjoy. I do enjoy helping other people do their best. So like that's why I've been trying to help out other people like start their podcast, and like I've been trying to link up with my friend who's in Twitch streaming all the time, and like I would just I do like to help because I like to see other people succeed, but I also like to be a part of a team like that. Like it's very...
See, I'm the same way. I like being a part of the team, but I've always been intimidated by, I guess the best way to put it, intellectual people. I feel like I've always been surrounded by them, but I've always been intimidated them because I feel like I'm not the intellectual one in the group. So I never really take the leap to try to get to know it.
Yeah.
You know, and I was like, that's why I'm excited that
Sorry.
that we've been able to work as a team, because I was like, yeah, I've learned a lot. So I was like, you think 13-year-old? So are you proud of everything that 13-year-old Andre did to lead you up to here?
Oh yeah.
Like, you don't think of like the butterfly effect of like one little thing?
I do. I mean, don't get me wrong. There is crazy stuff that's happened that I like really don't ever talk about. But like, I don't think that. I think without that, I wouldn't have grown up the way I had. Like, I mean, I've had guns pulled out on me like multiple times for no reason. I've done like sketchy stuff that it's like, damn, why was I even around at that? And like, I mean, but it's just, I mean, it is stuff that happens. So it's like, it's interesting that it's like, it would build you up to be this person. But yeah, I mean, I don't regret anything I've ever done. It's not, I haven't done anything crazy where I'm like, fuck.
Well, no, let's just say it. I don't even mean in like an intense sense. It's like everybody saw. I saw there's one thing is like, of like, I guess, like not going to a party to meet somebody. You know what I mean? Like a little get together, or you decided to not go to a field trip, or if there was like an event like you were looking forward to and like overslept.
Yeah.
If you would have went to that event, you know, like a field trip or something, like I think of that constantly. You know, I've had a pretty, you've been involved for some of it, but I've had a pretty wavy past, you know, so I was like, I constantly think of like, oh, like little mistakes, or if I made a big one, I constantly think about that. And I was like, I feel like I grew up, I don't want to say early, but I felt like I had a grasp on reality at a very young age. I don't think you should have.
That's fair.
Because I did some stuff pretty childish as a child, you know what I mean, to kind of live, but I feel like I didn't either. Because I had a bunch of older people around me to where I think I skipped a few steps, you know. Like I said, like my 13, like what did you get for your when you were 13 years old?
I got a scooter, if I remember correctly.
I got a paintball gun.
That's cool.
You know what I mean? Like, as I said, no one knew what paintball was. Like, I think it's weird. Like, I think about it, I was like, dude, I was the weird kid. Like, I think about that.
Yeah.
And, like, I used to think of myself, like, oh, I want to be popular like my brothers were. You know, they played sports, they'd be honor, all that stuff. I got a paintball gun. There's two things that come out of that. They either come out super creative,
or John Wayne Gacy,
or you're in a documentary. You know what I mean? And that's how I feel. Like, I don't want to make jokes about that, but that's what I think about.
Yeah.
And I was like, of course everybody's different, and I was like, everyone knows I'm not crazy, but I was like, it's a 13-year-old with a CO2 gun. That's what I got. And not only that, I hung it on my bike that I had there, and it was my favorite bike that later got stolen. I hung it on my bike and just rode around the block, showing it off. You know? Just because I want everybody to see. Some people are like, oh, that's a paintball gun. Like, oh, that's cool. I just had to show everybody to see that. Because I got one. It was crazy, dude. So I think about that all the time. Because I was like, now 13-year-olds. I sold a MacBook Pro to an 11-year-old.
That's sick.
Like, I mean, it was the family. They said it was a family computer, but you could tell. You know what I mean? You can tell it was child-driven family.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean when I say that? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I was like, it's a bit rough, you know, because I was like, we don't even use that for what we do. Yeah. And they're going to use it for very minimal of even what we do. 11 years old. And you saw what the computers and the electronics that we had at our time and what we did at 11 years old. We got to the printer, learned how to use it, got cheap planet codes for your San Andreas.
Yeah, no shit. But, I mean, we can't 100% be like, what the frick? Because, I mean, think about it. I mean, they're going to learn stuff that's really going to push them forward into the world, like, later on. Like, you think of silly shit that we did, and it's like, it kind of benefited a lot of people. Like, think how many people think to themselves they don't know code, and you're like, you were coding on MySpace. That's all MySpace was coding. Like, you had to learn from different websites how to, like, change the formats and whatnot to, like, make your fonts bigger or change the color. And it's crazy that, like, it was something so simple as just being on MySpace was something that probably changed a lot of the ways people did stuff now. Because now everybody knows how to do it.
Well, see, that's where you said you saw it in the coding aspect. I saw it as a way of like expressing myself for a person that didn't show emotion outside of sports.
Yeah, exactly.
So I was like, the fact that you get to change your background, change music, it kind of goes with what you learn. And I was like, I got to coming from at the time and the time frame we were in. My family wasn't really evolving with everything that's going on. Like even musically, fashionably, the whole thing. So I was like, I got to see a lot of music that I had never listened to. But listen to a lot of artists. See a lot of things that I take with today, and I think that's super cool. Stuff like that. But I was like, I don't know. I always think of stuff like the butterfly effect and like what it'll do. And
the only big butterfly effect in my life that I think would just be if I had left or not. I think that's the only big thing that I could think about that I'm like, I would be very interested to see what would have been and what would have happened. But I am really glad I didn't leave. I love the life that I live now, and I don't think I would have done a lot of that stuff if I wouldn't have at least done it with the people that I love doing it with if I had bailed out.
That's crazy, guys. It's super crazy to think about, man. And I was like, the reason I think about that is because, like you said, like these kids are learning to me at a faster rate, or even maybe not at a fast rate, but a more intense in your face rate. I've happened to be like, hey, like you're in second grade, turn on the webcam. You know what I mean? Like it's way different than what we had to do. Yeah, I just think it's crazy. So I was wondering if it's gonna change like job scales. Of like if let's say you went last year and this year, your last 2 years of high school, let's say, like last year was junior, this year senior year, your last 2 years were on computer, at home. Does that change your aspect of going to college? Does that change your aspect of what job you would have had if you didn't? You know what I mean? If let's say you go to be a nurse or sports or anything, or now you're going to go into coding, you're going to go to IT, or just, something where you can continue on with that. And I feel like it's going to shift
big time.
And I was like, I don't know if people do know that, or if I'm just the one that was late to the party, but I feel like it's going to be a big shift. And I was like, there's a big age gap now where people want basic equipment. Like I want something basic, and it's like $200, but I was like, what's basic in their head and what is in front of them are two different things.
Yeah.
And that's where I think is going to be another age gap where I think about it like at work, because I work at an electronics store, is what to say Best Buy. I was afraid to say it, but I was like, I don't think anything's going to happen. Best Buy. And you would think someone that's been around, let's say 40, 45, 50 years should have some common sense answers, right?
Yeah.
Well, some of these kids are understanding the
Better than my
value.
parents.
Well, no, the value of taking a leap. Like, hey, if you spend a few $100s, you get something that's going to last, it's going to work, and everything like that. But unfortunately, they're in a situation where they can't pay for it.
Yeah.
So some of these kids understand my point of just saying, hey, because I'm not a car salesman. I don't make commission. I don't make any of that. So I just tell people what's going to go on so you don't have to come back here in an angry fashion.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? You get what you want, just like I would want. You know what I mean? Because I'm very simple. I don't talk to a lot of people when I go shopping. It's kind of just
in and out.
Around, yeah, in and out. So I was like, but they don't have the funds
to
compensate that $150 leap, to get what they need. And their mom's like, I'm only gonna pay this, or I'll just go buy it online, But I was like, and then I go tell them the only issue that they're having of why they're not buying it from me is because we have to order it. Mm-hmm. So it's like a back and forth thing, because that's what we've had to deal with like the past 2 or 3 years of ordering. You know what I mean? That's a whole different thing. Mm-hmm. If you would have told 12-year-old us we had to order something, I don't think we would have understood it completely.
No, hell.
And I was like, and then also too, the way some things where I felt were fast paced, you almost lose the interest of wanting it.
Yeah.
Because I remember when I first got Xbox Live, I had to order the headset, and it came with Xbox Live, and I waited for it every single day, dude. Riding around on my bike, hoping to see the mailman. I'd follow him, or not follow him, but I would just ride around. Like when I saw him, like, okay, I don't want him to see me, like skip my house. So I was like not following, you know what I mean? But I was just like, it took forever to get here, but I was like, now kids are understanding that you just order from your thing. You go order pizza, you could text Domino's, an emoji. It's crazy. When pagers were a thing, my dad left me a pager and some quarters. If anything happens, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I was my cool dad with the pager. That's what I thought. And I was like, it's pretty much just texting. is texting a number to call on a payphone.
Yeah.
Or a house phone. And then there's also the generation gap where everything's touchscreen, and there's that little girl touching the Game Boy. But I was like, it made me think a lot more about like dreams. Like, are dreams gonna shift? Is the perception gonna change? It's just wild to me. 'Cause like when I think about what I was gonna do, like, and I'll get into it a little bit. My dream as a little kid is I wanted to be an actor, and I wanted to be an actor for one reason.
What is that?
Is to me a wild, crazy kid reason to be an actor. I thought when you become an actor, you get multiple lives. I thought if you die on screen, you get multiple lives in life. If you're not an actor, you just die.
Oh, that makes sense. So
my little kid head thought that if I got shot, like, oh, I'll do this because if I get shot on screen, I get another life.
Yeah.
They're walking around. So I thought, I guess in my little kid head, I'd become immortal. Because I was like, yeah, you could die on screen. Like, I didn't know if it was a contract. Like, I thought about that. Like, I didn't know if it's like a devil's advocate thing. Like, you sign it, or if it's just, like, you're just granted this gift, or, like, maybe you have to go through a little schooling, and you come to the school of acting, and you're now immortal. I don't know.
You were so close. You had it all the way up until immortal. You have to go to acting school to be an actor, but you don't learn witchcraft to fucking live forever, Edward. But that is crazy because it makes sense. I mean, that's not too far off of what a kid could think, because yeah, if I was trying to think of a movie this whole time of someone dying, but I just kept thinking of Forrest Gump. But it's like I get that because it seems like they're playing themselves, but they're actors, so they're playing a character. But it's
I watched a lot of like action. I watched like a lot of action films of like people dying, like the Terminator and just action movies. Like growing up, Lethal Weapon, all kinds of stuff like that, to where if you get shot at, you know what I mean? I was like, it don't matter. You're like, I couldn't take it.
Invincible.
Like even when I was a little older, like 12, and they had like road rules versus like real world, and like they would have previews. My head still couldn't understand that because they said like, oh, live on Monday, but they already had previews of it. My dumb head couldn't fathom that. So I'm like, I felt like being an actor, you have the edge of something, because
it's like, how is this live if this is already recorded?
Yeah, my dumb brain couldn't handle it. Like, I was just like, what the hell? Like, I want to know the answers before they're there. Like, imagine being able to watch this and like look like you already know the answers and you're waiting to see everybody get shocked.
Yeah,
like, I don't know. Like so that's why I was like, I feel like my dreams have changed, because my dreams kind of shifted from doing that, and that's something I've always kind of wanted to do, into wanted to be a part of sports. And then I felt like when you're a part of sports, you get to meet people, see things, travel. It was never really about the money. Like, of course, that's a big help. But I was like, again, I felt like you become this threshold of like perception,
like a higher superiority.
Yeah, it's like you're almost immortal in that round, because like, you remember forever. If you win the Super Bowl, you remember you're on a trophy. You win the Stanley Cup in hockey, your team.
Yeah, it's like your name's always.
Your team name is on there, and you're attached to that.
Yeah,
it's like that. So like, I guess I've always wanted to follow things that are like immortal, and it kind of led to, at a young age, being an actor. I've always wanted to write my own little movies and stuff like that as a little kid, and I kind of remember that because I was like, if you have a good film, it's gonna last forever. And I was like, maybe that's how I thought things, and I'm thinking things now are more temporary. So I was like, that's why I asked that, because I'm like, if people are still gonna think that way. Because I feel like there's going to be a few, but I feel like the way we think is now we're the old people.
Yeah.
And, now it's new, and I was like, it's hard for me to deal with that. I was like, damn, it sucks, because I hadn't even lived or done anything. And now I'm the old person.
Yeah, like we're almost 30, and it's like, damn.
We're still getting started.
Whoop, whoop.
But I was like, what would you tell 13-year-old Andre?
Oh, do better. Like, learning-wise, I feel like I could have done a lot. I feel like I should
You're preaching to the choir. I didn't apply myself at all until we did this podcast.
I wish I had applied myself a lot more. I mean, the grades would have been nice, but, like, I wouldn't have done anything with it. Like, it would have just been nice to, be smarter than I am now.
Mm-hmm. What would you... so I asked you what you would tell 13-year-old Andre. What would 13-year-old Andre tell you?
I don't know. Stop being fucking sad all the time. Like, I don't know if it's this Corona stuff or like not working for a while, but like I literally just wake up every day super sad and for like 3 hours. Like I don't even want to wake up half the time. Like I'll just keep like today I woke up at 12, but I woke up at 5. I woke up at 6. I woke up at 8. I just kept going back to bed. Like I just didn't want to be awake. But it's like cheer up. Like you live a good life.
Unfortunately, I've felt that before when I did 2 jobs.
It's like
I'd wake up and I was like, man, I just want to stay asleep. But then I was like, I'm doing these 2 jobs because I like working, you know. And then, as I said, it's never been about the money for me. I just like being busy. But I was like, I thought about that a few times with 2 jobs. I'm like, man, like if I'm done, they're just gonna call me and they're gonna keep calling me, and it's just like, man, I'm just a number. I'm just a robot.
Yeah.
Like I've thought about that.
But I think that's all I would say to myself if I was 13. Like, I mean, it's just sad. Like, I know it's sad, but, like, I am also just sad when I wake up. Like, I don't know what it's been, but I don't know. I just don't want to wake up half the time. That was very depressing, but it's very true.
Yeah, it's not depressing. It's the truth, you know?
Yeah. What about you? What do you think that...
I mean, there's a few things. I'd probably slap the shit out of myself, if you want me to be pretty honest. But I think it'd be more... I don't know if it'd be more open, but I was like, no, it'd be more of like follow my thoughts, you know. Like I was very closed off. Mm-hmm. Like I acted like I was open, but I wasn't. Like I never told anybody I wanted to be an actor. I did not do
like theater arts
because myself, I'm not doing a musical, and it's not because it's like demasculine. Like I'm not a singer, you know. I'll sing when I'm happy, you know, but I was like, I felt like you have to do that leap, and I was like, I didn't do it, but I should just did it. It would have been hilarious.
Yeah.
You know, I was like, it would have been funny. Or that's what I said, I should have applied myself a little bit to where I wasn't always borderline in sports, to then find out that I would have found out sports wasn't my answer anyways. Mm-hmm. But that's all I focused on, you know what I mean? And that's what I was like, I think I focused on the wrong things to where it even leads me now where I'm on edge even at work, to where I'm not enjoying like little things, you know.
Yeah.
And I'm coming around to it, but it took me a long time. So that's why I was like, I should have did that, you know. Like I didn't date around a lot in high school. I didn't do a whole lot until like our senior year in high school. Mm-hmm. You know, like I did with like a few people of like opening up and talking about dreams and stuff as like younger, and actually doing little gifts. Like I think I made a little deal about reenacting Jackass. I wish I would have did more stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like prank videos or whatever was going on in MySpace. Like I wish I would have did more of that. To just do it, so then we could look back and say now. But I was like, I was so closed off because I was so embarrassed of what people were gonna think, you know. And I really focused on that. And people don't think that because of me, because of how standoffish I am. But I did it as like a defense still, you know. Mm-hmm. And I'll be honest with that. And that's why I tell myself, like, maybe lighten up, you know, like just do it, you know, just have fun, you know, without being a fucking ass, you know. Because I took a lot of my anger out of how I grew on myself more than a lot of people. Yeah. But then I was like, people's perception of me, what I found out later in life, were completely different than how I felt. So how people felt about me is how I felt about myself. Mm-hmm. And how I really was none of that. And it's just weird to think about. And so that's like, I would have told my young self to lighten up. And my new self would probably tell me it is what it is, you know. Like I felt like I had more answers when I was younger than I am now. It's super crazy to think about. And I think it's because it had a lot to do with growing up a little early. Like I had a little bit of grasp of stuff. Like I had to pay my bills at a young age, and now I'm just like, man, like where's my fun? But then I was like, we did party, we did do that, all that at high school. But that's not what it's all about. Yeah, like I felt like but I was able to do that. Go to hockey. Go to work, you know what I mean? I handled a lot more than I actually handle now. Yeah. And it's super crazy to think about. No, but I just wanted to do that, like talk about like dreams, man. That's something I've always liked to talk about, and I've never asked people that question, and I've always wanted to. 'Cause I want to know how people think about that, because that's something I think about on a daily basis.
Yeah, which I mean, it's very interesting because like you were saying, like I guess I don't ever talk about that. Like it was something that happened, but it just, you know, like it wasn't anything I'm like, whoa. But it was interesting to like talk about it and be like, yeah, I guess that was the goal, and that is what I'm doing now. And yeah,
because I think about it, but I'm not angry about it. So I don't want you to be, now that I brought it up, like angry at not having San Francisco Dre.
No, I know,
You know
but
what I mean?
it's like you're saying, like it's hey man, I need to stop stuttering. It's interesting to see what people think about because it's not something that people talk about that often. Like people don't just go like it's not. There's only there's like a small fraction of people that are like, my dream is to do this, and now I'm gonna do it, or I'm gonna thrive to it. It's kind of like I work at McDonald's, but my dream is I want to.
Well, no, that's what I just said. Now we're talking about all this, and my goal is always to entertain, and it was either going to be as entertaining as football, entertaining as a prank show, entertaining as the leader jackass, making my own, entertaining people on the TV, and now unintentionally, without this being like a main goal, I'm now having a project like our podcast. And it's from we're doing something from one of my favorite movies, and I didn't put the connection on until we were on episode like 8. Wayne's World. We're just not live. We're not doing video.
That's fair.
It's crazy. It's crazy. Like, because I was like, that wasn't my goal. Like, my big goal. You know what I mean? I was like, I don't want to be Wayne's World, but I wanted to be in the mindset of Wayne's World. And somehow it led us to this. You know what I mean? So I was like, you're not making video games, and I'm not really making movies right now. But I was like, we have a project that we're like we didn't plan on doing.
Yeah.
Like I don't think 13-year-old self that you would have your own radio show or whatever they consider this.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, technically a radio show, but yeah.
To the old geezers, we're a radio show on the FM.
Back in my day, there was only the AM radio. We'd listen to the stories being told, and there was picture shows that would just be told on the intercoms.
Would you see it as an honor if we got like split up in the apocalypse and there's like 30 years in the future and like we're one of the last things that get put on the radio wavelengths?
No.
That's
depressing.
Huh?
Well, I don't want to listen to me. Am I alive still? I don't want to listen to me.
What's what I'm saying? I was like, with me saying that, are you alive?
Probably not.
I was like, I'd feel like that's badass, man. Like, I wouldn't want to be that, but like I told you, I'm not dying in the apocalypse. That's a whole different tangent.
I feel like
I'll be that 9-year-old in the dune still hacking at something, dude. Just me and an axe.
I think it would only be interesting if it was like, what's the word? I almost said vicarious. That's not the word. Vicarious. Like vicariously, like if I was like, say I was like,
what's vicarious? Like you're a Viking in this thing?
Like, like I'm living it through someone else. Like if I was like say it's the apocalypse, right? And I'm looting in the mall. And then I like hear somebody else like
reincarnation,
and they're like, no, like I hear someone else like messing with the radio, like trying to get something, and then all I hear is like, "Hey guys, this is the Takeover podcast." Like that would be interesting to hear from afar, but like I'm not trying to listen to that. Like if I'm like running and then I'm like,
so you think you would zone it out?
Yeah,
Maybe a zone out thing.
I
wouldn't see it as like a celebrity status thing. I guess I'd feel that too. And I was like, I feel like it's not like we're not ourselves on here. But my survival apocalyptic self would be way different than a talk show host.
Yeah, oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it would just be like that. I'd probably hate my own voice, dude. To be honest, in the apocalypse, like I don't hate it now. Like it's not an ideal voice or anything. like I don't want to get it like that. You know what I mean? Like judging it, but in the apocalypse, I would.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because there's like, let's say it's zombies, you're killing stuff. Do you want to hear people talk, or do you want to hear like Megadeth or Slayer or something?
Yeah, exactly.
Or is it going to be like Fallout, or it's like some people talking and then it's like the old school music?
I've got something in my left pocket for you. I've got something in my left pocket and we'll see what it is. That's what I live for. That would be the bee's knees.
But you know what's real crazy? On the moon, no one can hear you cream. I don't know if I said that on this episode, but I mean on any of our episodes, but we watched it on a show like years ago, and that stuck with me, man.
Yeah, we say that way too often.
Just think about it. On the moon, no one can hear you cream. Take that with what you want. If we have kids watching or older groups watching, on the moon, no one can hear you cream.
And on that note, we're gonna end this, but I'm going to say we said 6 movies. 6 different movies.
Did we?
I think so. That's what my bet is. If someone will count them and put them, how many movies we brought up, that would be funny. But I'm going to say 6.
This is unintentional. Like, we don't sit here and say we're going to talk about movies. To be honest, we don't really say we're going to talk about anything until like 10 minutes before we do this.
No, he's lying. We usually get like a bowl and we write a bunch of movies and we just pull them out. and then we have to try to fit the movie into the conversation.
Welcome to the third reboot of Whose Line Is It Anyway?
Shotgun Drew Carey.
I'm definitely Wayne Brady. I just told you I don't sing that much, and he's the one that sings all the time.
One the Masked Singer. Oh, sorry if I spoiled it.
Has there been another season since then?
Yeah, online.
Has there been another winner?
Oh, yeah, no, you're right. A woman won. I don't remember her name.
All right, guys. Well, I have a song recommendation, and it happens to be from Wayne's World, and also unintentional.
7 movie references. I'm just kidding.
Well, no, but we're gonna do some song and movie recommendations. What was the song you wanted to recommend to them?
Well, you said it was bad. Now I gotta pick.
Well, no, I didn't say it was bad. I said it was just like a different vibe. It's not bad at all.
Sorry, I like girl teeny pop songs, dude.
Yeah, I like old school stuff. Old school moist towelettes.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I had it set up to the beginning. Here, I'll just skip her. Don't tell me I don't remember that classic. So since we're talking about dreams, go listen to Gary Wright. WRIGTH, Gary Wright, Dreamweaver. It's his cut of it. There's a few covers from it, but just that one that goes with the vibe. And then your other one was called, or do you want to do a movie?
I'm gonna do a movie.
All right, do a movie.
Okay. For all the kids we were just talking about at Best Buy, they're probably all trying to grow up to be Kurt from Kurt's World. It's the movie called Spree. It's very interesting because they keep saying that it's a modern take of American Psycho, but it's with Joe Keery, which is Steve from Stranger Things, and it's interesting because he's a streamer who's trying to get famous, so he keeps making like all these videos on YouTube and whatnot, and he keeps telling everybody that he's going to teach them the lesson. The lesson is his big thing that he's gonna roll out, and it's very interesting. It is very bloody. It's a bloody movie. It makes you never want to get in an
Uber. Like a scary movie.
Yeah, it's scary in the sense that it's just like kids probably really do think this way, and it's kind of scary.
So dang, it has Kyle Mooney, David Arquette. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna watch this. Where'd you watch it at?
Amazon.
Okay. Do people got to rent it?
Yeah, I think it's like $8, something like that.
Well, they're not worried about the price, but I was like, if y'all can watch it, watch it. Do you want to do like a free movie recommendation and a rented one, or just a one movie?
Nah, I'll just do the one.
Okay, so all right, guys. So that's gonna be the song Gary Wright, Dreamweaver, and you said Spree.
Spree. S-P-R-E.
All right, I just added it to my watch list on here on my phone. All right, guys. Well, thank you for joining us on another episode.
It was fun. I'm Drew Carey.
I'm Wayne Brady, of course.
And we'll see you on the next episode of
Takeover the World. You know all our handles. LinkedIn, Takeover the World Podcast. See you later.
Bye. Peace.